The rain wouldn't stop that day. It came down in thin, cold needles that pierced through my black coat and into my... The rain wouldn't stop that day. It came down in thin, cold needles that pierced through my black coat and into my bones. My daughter's coffin lowered into the ground as the priest's voice dissolved into static. I remember staring at the casket, willing it to move, willing her to wake up, to tell me it was all a mistake. But she didn't. My wife wasn't there. She had a flight delay. Her voice over the phone was dry, rehearsed. "I'll be back tomorrow. Don't start without me." So I buried our daughter alone. That night, the house was too quiet. Her favorite mug still sat in the sink, half rinsed. The scent of her shampoo clung to the hallway. I stood there, staring at her bedroom door, when my phone buzzed. One new message. From Emma. My heart froze. "Dad, I'm not dead. Come to the cemetery, now." My phone slipped from my hand. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. The message stared back at me like an accusation, glowing cold in the dark. Outside, thunder rolled. And I drove. The cemetery gates creaked open like they hadn't been touched in years. Headlights carved through fog, cutting across rows of stone faces and dead names. Emma's grave was fresh, soil still soft. My shoes sank into the mud as I approached. No one. Then, movement. A figure standing beside her grave, small, still, hair plastered to her face from the rain. For a second, my heart stopped. "Emma?" I whispered, but it wasn't her. It was her phone, lying on the headstone, flashing once, then again. And behind me, footsteps. I turned. No one. Only shadows shifting behind the tombstones, the kind that disappear when you try to look directly at them. Something was wrong. The phone buzzed again, lighting up the name Emma. Another message. "Ask Mom where she really was that night." My pulse thudded in my throat. My wife had said she was in Dubai for a conference, but the funeral had been in New York. I called her, straight to voicemail. When I got home, I sat in the dark and opened the shared iCloud account Emma used for school. A small, familiar instinct whispered inside me, the one I used to ignore, back when my marriage still felt real. There was a photo, time-stamped 3 hours ago. My wife, laughing, wine glass raised. A man's arm draped around her shoulders. Not a conference, a villa, Greece. And my daughter's number, texting me from the grave. For 3 days, I said nothing. I wore silence like armor. I called her once, told her I missed her. She sighed softly, the way liars do when they think they still have control. "Just a few more days, Mark," she said. "Then I'll be home. We can talk." I didn't ask about the man in the photo. I didn't ask about the villa. Instead, I asked if she'd visited Emma's grave yet. The line went quiet. "No, I can't, not yet." I knew then. She wasn't grieving. She was hiding. I started digging. Phone records, bank transfers, deleted messages. The kind of data that doesn't lie when people do. Every piece fit too neatly. Late-night calls to a number saved as C. Transactions to luxury hotels during work trips. One message stood out. 3 months before Emma died. "She knows, Claire. The girl knows. You have to handle it." Handle it. Those words stayed with me. That night, I opened Emma's laptop. The passcode was still her birthday. Hidden in a folder named Art Class were voice memos. One dated the week before the crash. Her voice was small, scared. "Mom's been acting strange. I heard her yelling at someone on the phone. She said, 'He can't find out. Not now.' I think she meant Dad." Silence. Then a whisper. I think she's going to leave him. My chest went cold. Emma hadn't just died. She'd known. And then she was gone. My wife returned 4 days later, tan, rested, dressed in white. "Mark," she said, arms open, voice trembling like she'd practiced sadness in front of a mirror. "I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. I handed her the phone, Emma's phone. The lock screen lit up with her own message, the one that summoned me to the grave. Her face drained. "Where did you—" "I found it," I said. My voice was calm. "In the cemetery." Her lips parted. No sound. "Emma's number sent me a text," I continued, "said she wasn't dead." She laughed, a sharp, broken sound. "Mark, that's insane. Someone's messing with you." I watched her closely. The faint tremor in her hand, the flick of her eyes toward the hallway, toward her purse. I'd already checked it. Inside, a Greek SIM card, receipts, a hotel booking for 2. And the name on the reservation? Carter Ellis, her business partner. Was it worth it? I asked softly. The lies, the affair, the trip while we buried her? Her knees gave out. She sank into the couch, face in her hands. "I didn't mean what?"
Longer recognize. "I knew enough," I said. She stepped closer. "You can't do this. He'll lose his license, and you'll lose everything you thought you earned." I set a folder on the table. Inside, copies of their transfers, her messages, the forged sign-offs, everything perfectly organized. "Take them," I said. "You'll need them for your defense." She didn't touch it. She just stared. "You planned this," she whispered. "No," I replied. "You planned this. I just finished it." Her breath caught. For the first time, she seemed small. I didn't raise my voice, didn't gloat. I simply walked past her, out the door, and left her standing in the ruins of her own cleverness. Behind me, the silence broke into something fragile, a sob, maybe, but I didn't turn around. Weeks later, I received a notice. Her lawyer was under investigation. She'd vanished from the city. The house is quiet again, the kind of quiet I once feared, now I crave. I make my coffee in the same kitchen, sit at the same table, but the air feels cleaner. Sometimes I think about her voice, sharp, certain, cruel, and how small it must have sounded when the walls began to close in. They always mistake calm for weakness. They forget that silence has teeth. I learned that from her. And when I finally signed the last document closing our shared accounts, I pause, just once, and think, she wanted freedom. She got it, at a cost she never saw coming. Final line, I never raised my voice, never sought revenge. I simply let the truth do what I never had to.